Eagles lose to the Cowboys 24-21. They had a 21-point lead, and they just let it collapse. 24 unanswered points to the Cowboys. One of the worst losses in the Sirianni era. We're going to have to break this one down. Not really honestly excited to talk about it, but this team has clear problems, and we need to address them. We're going to start with the offense. We're going to start with some positives. So the segment's not going to be very long because there really weren't many positives yesterday from the offense, if I'm just being honest. But we still have to give credit where credit is due. I thought the Eagles did a good job yesterday of, number one, getting the scoring going early. That's something we haven't seen a ton from them. I would say they've been better in the first half, at least as of recently. But getting the scoring up early, I mean, again, they were up 21-0 at one point. I thought that they were both getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved in a way that was not necessarily force feed type of football. Like that's what we saw last week with A.J. It really wasn't that case this week. It was natural. It felt natural to me, at least when I was watching. It didn't feel like they were just forcing the A.J. Brown. It just felt like he was actually open and the concepts were being schemed open for him. Same for Devontae Smith. The deep ball as well to Smitty was crazy. I thought he had a great catch. And when we look at the stats, again, the stats show that both of these guys did pretty good. When we look at A.J. Brown, he had 8 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. And Devontae Smith had 6 receptions for 89 yards. And again, that crazy catch as well. So I thought he did really good. I thought Jalen Hurts looked pretty good, except for, I would say, more of the second half. I just thought he kind of slowed down a little bit. Not saying that the game is really on his fault, but I just felt like he was a little conservative at times. And some of the, not necessarily play calling, because that's obviously not his role, but really just situational awareness was not there at the end of the game. But we'll get to that. But at least to start the game, I thought he looked really good. I mean, again, when we look at his stats, Jalen Hurts was 27 for 39 for 289 yards passing, 1 passing touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns for 33 yards. So, again, I can't really say that he had the worst game. It just really was down the stretch. I don't think he made maybe as many plays as he would have liked, but overall, he did a good job of distributing the ball. It's not like he was throwing interceptions or fumbling, so I can only get on him for so much, and I'm not getting on Jalen Hurts. I'm really not. There were some plays at the end of the game that were a little suspect, but overall I thought he did a really good job yesterday distributing the ball and, again, showing that he is, a quarterback that you can rely on, because the last couple of weeks were a little dicey. I didn't see that, especially in the first half at least. I did not see that side of Jalen Hurts. Now into the negatives, and this is where the juicy stuff is. This is where I'm actually going to be able to vent here. It's just the same stuff every week, man. It's the same stuff every week. And I even told myself, I think I said it in the Lions recap, that I wasn't going to expect anything from this offense anymore. But I tricked myself because of how the Cowboys had played earlier in the year. I did not factor in that, they've added some players, especially Quinn Williams. And, credit to Dallas. That's definitely a part of it. But I still think they should have been able to score on this Dallas team. And a lot of my frustrations are going to go at Nick Sirianni and Patullo. It's just the feel for the game. It's the feel for the game, and specifically when calling plays. It's just not there when I look at this team. It's just not. It's just not. Once they go up 21-0, the feel was gone. The feel was gone. The Eagles just could never really get anything consistently going again. It just felt like, again, maybe the Eagles do really good with the scripted plays, but once that goes off script and you actually have to start calling plays based off feel, Kevin Patullo can't do his job. And it's not that he can't do his job. He's just not good at his job. And we're at that point, and I'm in the point where I'm fine with either firing him or demoting him. And shout out to, I'm blanking on his last name, Ruben. He's on the Eagle Eye podcast with Dave. He was saying, how much worse can it get? And that's how I feel. How much worse can it get? I feel like we're already not necessarily at a bottom point with this offense, but I haven't seen, other than the Giants game, I have not seen 4 consistent quarters of offensive football from this team, which is a joke. Based off just the personnel that they have, it's a joke. It's just a bad scheme. It's a conservative scheme. I don't really understand the, I guess just basis of what it's based off of. The routes, again, when people break down the route trees for these guys, they're all very predictable and it's limited, and they're just so conservative with the play calling. I also don't understand the situational awareness when it comes to play calling late. Why were they passing the football so much? Yes, I understand that Barkley has not been able to get it going. The run blocking for the offensive line has not been up to par. But still, you have to still try to run the football. You can't just be predictable. And you have to run the football when it makes sense and pass the football when it makes sense. And we just were not seeing that yesterday from the Eagles. And speaking of the run game, it was a joke yesterday. A joke. 11 carries for both your running backs. 10 for Saquon, who had 2.2 rushing yards. 1 for Tanks Bigsby. And Saquon fumbled in a key moment as well. Man, there's so much to break down here. Again, the run blocking continues to struggle, and you even had Cam Jurgens. They continue to struggle. It's just so frustrating because this unit was so good last year, and you only lost Mekhi Becton. What happened? I don't know if it's a combination of the scheme being bad. I don't want to say Barkley's had to step back because you saw how good he was against the Giants. Like, physically, I think he's still there, and I've been able to see it even over the last couple of weeks, but maybe it's just his vision. I don't know. It's just too much dancing a little bit. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just something with that, again, combined with the bad blocking. Maybe some players are regressing a little bit. I just don't know what it is, but you can't just run away from the run. It doesn't make sense. Also, why is Bigsby not getting more carries? 1 carry, he's shown a lot, I feel like, the last couple of weeks. I just think it's honestly really dumb. I just think the Eagles are not playing specifically on the offensive side. And this is, again, at the coaching, they're not playing smart football and they're not calling smart football. Again, why do you not run the clock when you have a lead? Why do you not try to run the football? Why do you consistently pass and stop the clock and give Dallas more time? We've seen this against the Broncos. I'm trying to think of other teams we've seen this against. I mean, we saw it a little bit against the Giants when they were making that comeback. We've seen this against other teams where they've been able to get wins. I just don't get it. It's football 101. It's football 101, and this team just doesn't understand it. And I don't understand how I can understand it. And these guys get paid a ton of money, and it's their entire job. And it's literally just staring them in the face. And they're like, nah, we want to be stubborn. We want to pass. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Saquon Barkley as well, man. Again, I know I was just going over everything, but man, he's just got to be better. This is a crazy fall off, and I don't think he's fallen off physically, but it's just something's not there. I don't know if it's, again, the wear and tear from last year, the offensive line, the scheme. I don't know what it is. I mean, they are running a lot into boxes of like a ton of defenders, but still, I just don't know. It's just such a frustrating product every single week, and I'm officially at the point where, I'm worried that this offense is just going to be the reason why you don't win a Super Bowl this year. And I just feel like I can't rely on this offense. And going against teams that score points this week, again, like with Dallas, how am I supposed to feel confident that the Eagles offense is going to be able to even compete? They can't outscore anyone, let alone they can't score more than 20 to 21 points a game. It's just not meant for the playoffs. You're going to be playing only good offenses. That's how the playoff works. It's the best teams. It's just not a recipe for success, and I'm officially at the point where I'm hitting the panic button because I don't see how this is getting better. I mean, we are almost in December. You don't know your identity. You have a play calling problem, and you cannot consistently score, and you cannot consistently get the most out of your team who has a ton of talent. I just don't get it. That's how I feel about the offense. A ton of negatives yesterday. One more point, actually, for the offense before we get into the defense. I just remembered, and this is, again, on Nick Sirianni. This is really on him because he's the head coach. This was not all on the offense, but most of it was, in my opinion. 14 penalties for 96 yards. 96 yards. What are we doing? And like, the Eagles were disciplined last year. They let teams be undisciplined last year and then they would benefit off of it. Again, they just have to clean stuff up. So many also positive plays on offense that were taken away yesterday just from these stupid holding flags. It is just so frustrating. And in my opinion, that's 100% on Nick. He has to get the team disciplined. All right, on to the defense. And this was a weird performance because when you look at the box score, it shows that the defense was kind of lit up, and they were. There was definitely some negatives. But at the same time, I feel like I can only get mad at the defense so much when they're put on the field so many times. They really don't get much time to rest, and they put in the performances that they've been having the last couple weeks. At some point, it's the NFL. You're going to go against, or it's the NFL in 2025. You're going to go against a high-powered offense. They're going to, put put you in a tough position. And you can only make so many plays. And here's the thing. The defense still made plays. They still made plays. Reed Blankenship had a pick. Vaughn had a fumble recovered, and he could have had another pick. They did what they had to do, in my opinion. Yes, they let up big plays, but they did what they had to do. Another positive was Nakobe Dean. Again, this guy is just a threat, dude. He's so good, and he was a threat, again, blitzing. You cannot put a running back to block this guy because he's just going to destroy the running back. I really like what I've been seeing from Nakobe. And now let's get into the negatives for the defense. Really, it was just the chunk plays. The chunk plays were just killing us. I mean, Pickens was killing you. I thought specifically DeJean on the outside, it's just not for me. It's not for me. I think we got to keep him in the slot. So, I mean, we at least tried the experiment, but yeah, it wasn't for me. Where was the pass rush yesterday? I didn't see any pass rush. Again, yes, Dean had the sack, but overall, I was not seeing the pass rush I saw the last 2 weeks. Again, Jalen Phillips specifically, I don't know where he went. I feel like he ghosted yesterday. So that was a little disappointing. And again, really, it was just even injuries. Like Reed Blankenship, he got hurt at the end. I think I'm hearing he might be questionable for Friday. And Makuba, I think from what I saw, I think it was something with his ankle and is out, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. So he's going to be out. It just sucks that guys are getting hurt now. You're potentially down 2 safeties in the next week, which is going to be a tough one. But overall, I thought the defense played all right. They did their job. But when you're asked to get that many stops, it's just hard in 2025, especially against an offense that has that personnel. It's just going to be tough. I'm coming at the special teams. No positives. Jake Elliott misses a key field goal. I know their kicker missed the field goal as well, but come on, Jake. He's been pretty good this year. I actually think Jake's been really good, but and again, in a big moment, in a big game where we need that, when the offense is struggling, you miss that field goal, and there was no weather to impact that as well. It's just obviously not good enough from Jake Elliott yesterday. And Gibson, yeah, pack your bags, buddy. It's why you've been cut by 2 other teams already. Why did you even try to field that punt? You could have just let it go into the end zone. I don't know. It's football common sense. I just don't understand. Again, the Eagles are not playing smart football right now. Again, the penalties, it's just all this stuff, the fumbling. And then, of course, he fumbles, puts Dallas in a great position, and they're able to capitalize there. Or actually, I don't know if they were able to capitalize specifically on that drive, but still, you put your defense in a bad position. It just was so sloppy yesterday from the Eagles, and the special teams, sadly, was a big part of that. And this game really had negative implications for the Eagles seeding-wise. The Eagles are now not the number 1 seed, which sucks, because obviously you want the number 1 seed. The Rams, with their big win last night, they're going to be there now. And then now on Friday, the Eagles are going to be hosting the 8-3 Bears. Both teams are 8-3, and the way Chicago's playing right now, at least with Detroit and Green Bay still being behind them in the division, this game is for the number 2 seed. So if the Eagles lose on Friday, you're now all of a sudden not even in position to have a 2 seed. It's just not where you want to be. So this game against Chicago, it's a must win. It's a must win, and I'm actually going to the game. Very grateful. So if you guys are going to be watching, keep an eye out for me, I guess. I know the channel's not that big, so I don't think many people would be doing that. But still, I will be there. I'll be in the end zone with the baseball stadium in the back. So if you're from Philadelphia, you know what I'm referring to. But I will be in the end zone, so check out for your boy. But regardless, this is a playoff game. Eagles have to win this game. It's a short week. You have injuries. You might be down 2 safeties. I need to see how this team responds. This team does respond under this staff with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, but it just feels like we're at one of those places right now, kind of like the Niners game from a couple years ago where the Niners game, they got punched in the mouth and they weren't expecting that. This now feels more like, trying to think of, I don't know. I don't really, I guess, know the best way to describe this game, but it just feels like a standoff point for where this team can go direction-wise, because you lose this game, all of a sudden, you're not even the 2 seed. You're 8-4. I mean, if Dallas starts winning games and you start losing games, we're going to have a very uncomfortable discussion. So I'm not getting to that point. I'm nowhere near that point, but the Eagles need to win on Friday. They just need to win on Friday. That's all I had on this one. Man, did I need to vent about this, because I was so pissed off yesterday with the way that they lost and just how they sucked me back in. We'll see how this stuff goes on Friday. I still think the Eagles win, but I just don't think I have a ton of confidence, at least prior to yesterday, because the Bears score points. The Bears score points. I know I trust this defense, but the Bears score points, and the Eagles, they don't score points. So if you put up too many points, there's just realistically no way the Eagles are going to be able to win the game because they just don't score enough. So we'll have to see how this all goes. But yeah, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you have any thoughts, drop them down below. My short-term content will be in my description, my TikTok. And yeah, that's all I had on this one. If you made it this far in the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.